Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Spending Time with Gregory. Hope everyone's feeling good. Middle of the week. Feeling pretty good myself. Week started kind of rocky. But thanks to you guys, I'm able to, come on here, my video diary, and talk to you guys about what's going on with me. And it helps me get through what I'm going through, and that's the reason for my video diary. You guys have been very supportive, and I appreciate that. Like I said, the week started out pretty rough. I had a maintenance issue with my truck. Cost me a pretty good penny. I really didn't have the money, so got to get it done though. Got to go to work. Got to continue to enjoy life, continue to stay positive, continue to do the right thing. I'm drinking Cucumber Monday juice, which is real good, guys. Juicing is real good, guys. You got to juice. But I wanted to, something came to mind. I was at work yesterday, and a coworker enforced a rule with the client, and the client responded by saying, "I'm going to call my sister to come pick me up." Backstory: it's a residential facility, and if you leave the facility early, it would be considered, not medically correct. So I self-reflect. I start to self-reflect, and I think about myself, and I think about what's going on with me. And I remember, as I self-reflect, I remember when I was a little kid, and when I was at my cousin's house, or I was in school, and if something happened, or something I didn't like, I would say, "I'm gonna call my mama." Call my mama. And when I heard this client say he's gonna call his sister, it kind of made me self-reflect and think about myself. Now, I remember I was doing a 3-year prison sentence, and I was standing in the foyer of the prison, and something really bad happened. It was real bad. And I went to the window of the prison, and I was standing in the window. I remember standing in the window, and I was saying to myself, I want to call my mama. I want to call my mama. And I was in a situation where, you really couldn't call your mama, but I felt that at that time, and it was going through my mind, at that time I missed my mama, and I want to call my mama, you know what I'm saying? But I put myself in that situation. And yes. When I started on this journey here, the past 12 years, I changed a lot of things about myself. I put together a support group, started hanging around people that are doing the right thing, and like they say, hang around the winners. I just started doing everything that, I needed to do, with the help of others, to sustain a enjoyable life, or a good life, which I feel like I'm having today. And I remember I was sitting in this meeting, this support group meeting, and the chairman of the meeting told me to shut up. I was about a year and something into my journey, my new journey, He told me to shut up. And he said, shut up and don't speak in this group until you speak to your support group. So I was like, whoa. So me being, I consider myself a tough guy. I consider myself a, I consider myself a tough guy. I'm not really afraid of nothing, and nothing. So I, like, who are you? And to myself, I was saying, who's this guy? And I thought to myself, I'm on a whole different journey. I have a support group that I can talk to. I have, people that direct me and guide me through this process. And I shut up. I didn't say anything. And I did exactly what he told me to do. I went to my support group and I talked to him about what I said and what he said. And they were telling me, he was right. He was right. You weren't ready to say what you were saying in that group. And that's how I knew that I was on a path of doing things different, doing things, according to, my support group. Not trying to do it on my own, not trying to, do it on my own. I needed help. And I needed that person's help, the chairman of that group, letting me know that, shut up. You're not ready to talk in this group. And here it is. 12 years later, I'm able to tell this story. Tell you guys to, shut up, listen. Follow people that are doing the right thing, that are doing positive things, Call somebody in your support network. You don't need to call your sister. You don't need to call your mama. Call people that'll walk you through this process. I had to self-reflect on that. When I heard this person say, I'm gonna call my sister. Yeah. Today I call the right people, guys. Thank you for spending time with Gregory. Hopefully see you guys on my next video.